Evening, boys. So I'm going to go over the US 30 strategy again, and that's Monday the 7th till whatever Friday is, just as the second week of April. So let's have a look. Let's get to 2:30. Right, so looking at this now, again, I can't remember if I took this trade at all, but based on what we've been doing recently, we've been selling quite a bit. It's pushed up and hit the 200 EMA on the 5 minute, and I think this comes down anyway, but to me, I'd be looking at that to come down based on the fact that it's not really, it's sort of swept the previous highs here. I mean, that's not swept anything and that's not swept it, so it struggled to push up on this particular day. And the fact that the 225 candle is pushing down quite strong, I'd like this area, or worst case, or whatever case, this to be swept as well. But I would be looking at my first entry around here. So getting on to the 1 minute, as you can see, they're quite equalish, quite a few little lows. So let's have a goose. Obviously 230 is quite high at the moment. This is 230 now, so this is again what I would call mid-range, because it's not near these highs. Like if it was here, I'd be quite happy that it might sweep and drop. And I know this is near this imbalance and it's near there, but because I think it's going to sell quite a bit today on this particular day, I'm worried about these. So working our way down. Right, so that candle's wicked it there. I would have been fingers ready to enter, and this is 243, 244. Obviously I say quite late. It's not too bad, but it's later than usual. But it's swept a low that I was interested in, so I'm more than happy to get in that. So I'd be looking at something like this. Obviously, again, volume is quite big today, because that looks like a very small trade, and 30 pips looks really small. So we'll just see what happens. I mean, if you'd have got in there, literally as it pushed down, or as it started pulling back up, again, we can't say for definite because we can't see how the candle printed, but already you'd be at 2.5 up, 2.5% up. Yeah, well, there's your 1 to 4. Now I got a feeling I may have been in this trade and I might have held it longer, but that looks so bloody small. I probably would have held that a lot higher. I mean, is this the one I passed one of my phases on actually and got like 14%? I can't remember. No, I can't remember. But anyway, something like that just looks huge. Like there's so much movement there, but that's because I think of the volume. So again, this is a bit of a weird one, because even if you look on the 5 minute, like sweeping that low, even if you used to say like targeting that imbalance there, you're at 1 to 21, so it just looks ridiculously big. But you know, I'm not going to complain. Whether you would have said, oh, wait for it to tap that, maybe not, but look, that's a disgusting size trade. So that is where you either just say, nah, I'm going to take my 1 to 4 and be happy with it, or the fact that, you know, like within one candle you'd already closed half a trade pretty much. I mean, it depends on your psychology, but you could have held that for whenever, but technically, following the rules, that 1 to 4 would have been over and done with in 2 candles. So I'll let you guys, you know, decide what you would have done there. But yeah, I'll pause this, go to the next day. Right, excuse me. So we're on Tuesday now, this the 8th. Now this is a bit of a weird one for me. It's sort of in a trend. It looks like it wants to continue up. I mean, unless it's going to take out something like this, but I don't normally look for that, to be honest. When I'm looking at it, that's a bit too far away. I know price will tap into areas like this, but for me on the day, because it's usually 1 minute trading, I'd be looking for something around here. But I mean, if it's going to continue up, it may take something like this. But I'm a little bit unsure with today, this particular day. I mean, to be honest, that's a ripe old area there actually. 200 EMA, because price likes to jump off of that. Look. And all those lows, that looks like a nice area, but it's a long way to go. So we'll just see what happens. If this continues up, then it's no trade for me. Right, so we're getting low here. We're getting low. Right, so I would probably, now it's hitting this EMA, I'd be gearing up for a buy, purely because price may not take the lows. So if I was watching this, I mean, we'll see how the next candle prints. Get that on the 1 to 4 ready. This might be a double entry here, because I think we may get stop lost. Fuck me, maybe not. Yeah, well there you go. Look at that, one candle. So this is very hard to say whether I'd have got in or not, because technically I have marked that area to be swept. But knowing what I know about the EMA, price coming down to that, and the fact that it's after 2:30, if this was like within the first few minutes of 2:30, like if this move happened here and it pushed it all the way down there, I'd want the lows to be swept. But a tap off in the EMA is pretty good. So yeah, I can't tell you whether I got in this trade or not, because I honestly can't remember. But the EMA is a good confluence. So yeah, I probably would have been gearing up to. I would have either just missed that trade, or I would have got in it and risked a stop loss. Obviously, depending on your entry, that was a bloody good trade. If you'd got on the EMA, what did it do then? Yeah, I got a feeling I might have been in this trade. You know, trouble is I see so many of them, I can never really remember which ones I took in, and I'm not doing a proper journal like I should do. Especially as I obviously going through challenge accounts, I'm not always taking serious trades, which I don't recommend doing. Sticking to a strategy is obviously the best way. But yeah, depending on your balls, you could actually get some monster trades with this strategy, especially if you're waiting for areas like this to be taken. Like the same with the last trade, it was it was a substantial area to take rather than just like a little sweep. So you guys can have a play around with that, but I always recommend 1 to 4, because even on the shit days and it's just a little sweep, you can generally get a 1 to 4. But yeah, that's something for you guys to test on your own and see what you think. Yeah, skip to the next day. Right, so next day is Wednesday, and we're just looking at the. What am I about? Yeah, so looking at this here, looks like it's been selling quite a bit again. We've just had a reaction off the 5-minute 200 EMA. So realistically, I think I'm looking for buys on this. So maybe let's get rid of some of these lines from previous trades. We've pretty much got not quite equal lows there, but that sort of area is somewhere that I'd be keen for a buy. Sorry, I mean, to get a sell out of this, the trouble is you've got this high, you've got that high, you've got that high, you've got that high. I mean, who really knows where that's going? So I'd be cautious with selling that. But we'll get on the 1 minute. I mean, this looks like a quite strong area, to be fair, on the 1 minute. Maybe an order block in there. No, there isn't. Wow. Well, something happened there because that was a very big push, and that wasn't news either. So, could be a potential area for a sell, but I'm not sold on it because of there's too many targets above for my liking. So we'll see where we're at now. We're at 29. Right, just for the sake of it, if this is an area I'm looking for, again, this looks really fucking tight, which is how we like it. Yeah, I think this is going to blow straight through it, but for demo purposes, we'll just have a look because that's probably something I'd be tempted to enter. Straight through. Yeah, so that's a good old-fashioned stop loss. Which is why I don't enter, you shouldn't enter trades like that. Like that's not, that's substantial. That's a decent area to sweep here because you've got, there's nothing here. There's no trend here. That's like a reversal point there. Same for that. That's come down, reversed up. So there's nothing, and you've obviously got liquidity on both sides here, really. So that is something strong that you can take a gamble on, or not a gamble, but happy to enter a trade on. But something like that, like a high within a trend, that's not good. That's not a good place to be. Because I mean, what did that actually take? Nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing to tap into there, unless there's something on a higher time frame or a lower time frame. That's just sort of gone up for the sake of going up, in my eyes. And the actual 230 was there. So that actual 230 there just pushed straight up. It's taken the previous low there, but that's not strong enough for me at all by any means. That's just essentially continuing a trend by the looks of it. So yeah, technically that should have been a no trading day, but if you'd have had the temptation to sell that, then you'd have stop lost. Right, so we're on Thursday now at 2:20. Obviously had a massive push the previous evening, which is completely ruined my analysis here because will that get filled? Will that continue up? Who really knows? I would expect this to get filled, to be honest. I would expect that to get filled. So, yeah, we're on 25 now. I mean, as much as I want to see this sell, I don't want to buy this because I feel like it could come down. But if I was going to buy from it, it would be either this low here or this low here. Or mark it for the sake of it, but I personally don't think this is. I think this is coming down. I think I remember this move as well. I mean, if we're going to look at sell opportunities, again, if it doesn't want to sell down and it wants to sweep up, you've got this area here coming from this point. But again, it's risky because you've got three touches on that line there. Bosh, bosh, bosh. You got all this above. There's imbalances and whatnot here. So if I would probably tempt the sell from here if it comes to this point, but I'd also be cautious of this because it could just keep going, up. This sort of like pushed up, flagged down, and could carry on. So just play it out fast. Yeah, so this is broken down now. So I mean, based on the fact that we've got this here, and I'm expecting it to be filled at some point within the next few days of this trading period. You could realistically look at potentially sales down, not using my strategy, but maybe you know, tapping in something there if it lets me. You could maybe look at something like this and go for a bigger stop loss, go like 60 pips. I mean, this is completely off trend, or not off trend, but off strategy. But and I'm not saying this is going to work either, but once, well, there you go, stop loss. But once price pushes down like this, you could potentially find other entries. But again, you can never really tell, and this is why I like 230, because if I mark my zones, I can enter comfortably, knowing that it usually works or there's a high probability chance, whereas trading like this, I mean, all that's done really is filled an imbalance. It's not really done anything for me to like enter, but it's just whether you want to sort of wing it on the day and just try and find these little entries, because you know full well that gap's getting filled at some point. It's just getting the entry for it. A tap off the 1 minute EMA, 200 EMA would be good. I mean, if you'd have sold just before 230, you'd have been doing all right. But obviously that's out of strategy. So yeah, we'll just see what happens with this. So that's not a complete tap off the 1 minute EMA, but it's got close. So you could do something like that and go big, go like 50 pips or even 60 pips. I do 60 pips sometimes, believe it or not, if I'm trading out on my strategy. I mean, you still could have got mega trades, but again, it's guessing. It's just guessing. But yeah, go to the next day. Right, so the next day we've been a little bit choppy here. This is Friday the 11th. So yeah, we've been a little bit choppy. Struggling to read this one really. This is 5 minutes time. This is 5 minute time frame. Sorry. I mean, if we look on the 15, last night, after what I showed you from yesterday's trade, which is from up here somewhere, there's 230. If you'd have got a decent entry, you could have almost filled that imbalance. You could have got some nice trades in there. Now, just looking at this 15-minute EMA here, look, I like this for a buy personally. To the point where it is now, looks like a good place to buy from. So if we can get a touch off of here, that's a nice little loader sweep. I mean, I know this is technically within trend, but looking at what I've seen on the higher time frame, I feel like this might buy. Just looking at this, so I'm happy to take the risk on this occasion. I mean, yeah, there is still loads of targets it could come down and sweep into, but we'll just see. We'll just see. Right, so there's 229. Again, I got a feeling I might have traded this. Right, well there you go. There's our touch. Bosh. Do you know what? I did trade this because this is my first trade I took on my funded. Now, if I remember rightly, I stop loss somewhere. I got a feeling I entered way too quick. I got a feeling I entered here, which, as you can see, where does that tap into? Nothing. So I shouldn't have taken the trade, and I think it moved so bloody fast, I actually lost 2% on the trade. But I got a feeling, when I know what I got a 1 to 14, if this is the right trade. I know that I went something like 1 to 14 on 0.5% risk, if this is the right day. But we'll just see what happens. Yeah, there you go. This is the day. I remember this now. So basically what's happened here is, excuse me, so marked out this little area here because to me that's quite a big reversal zone. Yes, I know there's loads of potential reversal zones here, or structure, whatever you want to call it. But for me, this is a local one. This one of the same day. Um, that's going by early hours in the morning, but I like that. And it's a London low, I believe, judging by the time. If people like the sessions, yeah, that's a London low. London low is quite good for sweeping. I don't normally look at that if I'm honest, but it's another confluence you can add if you'd like to. And it's come, 230 has pushed down, swept that. I'd have had the finger on the buy button ready as soon as it had swept, or like I've said before, I watch for that to push through. If it starts pulling back up, like realistically, my entry might have been there. Say, move across so it looks, because it might have been the case I've seen it come up, and then I might have even seen a bit of green candle. But the fact that it would have started pulling up through there on that little wick there, started pulling back up, I probably would have been quite keen just to jump in that because it's technically swept. So trade entry requirements met, and obviously I would not have held for. Well, I don't know why I held. I think I wanted to see. I don't actually know what I targeted. It might have been this high here. All I know is I got 700 quid from it, or dollars, which was 0.5% risk, and one to 14. But yeah, that has been a big push. I mean, all this week actually, three out of the 5 trades I've shown you have been big trades. That doesn't always happen. Trust me, like it doesn't always happen, but it can happen, and it's all down to the size of your balls really, and whether you can deal with the fact that you could have hit a 1 to 4. If you were trying to go for like a 1 to 7 and it went to 1 to 4 or 1 to 4.5, then reversed and took you out, you'd be pissed off you didn't take the 1 to 4. On the other hand, go into something like this. I mean, I think you'll find this actually sent it. Oh, maybe it didn't. Well, I say it didn't. You got like 1 to 18 out of that. So yeah, you can either hold for these mega moves, or you can take 4%, 5%, 6%. It's just something you'll have to test and see. But yeah, that is a wrap of that week. Obviously, this week could have been extremely profitable depending on what trades people took, and how many entries it's taken. But if you just follow the rules, you can be quite profitable with this. Again, any questions or anything, if you want me to write down like rules and stuff, just let me know. Quite happy to help. And yeah, I'll bring out the next week, which I think will be this week. No, that'll be last week's. Yeah, so I'll get last week's on at some point this week. Yeah, cheers for listening, guys.